Well, they have to be a little concerned because a hip injury is serious. He didn't get surgery, and I'm going to get to that in a second. And in the end, they did give up a second-round pick to complete the deal. The Celtics did, which indicates that they acknowledge that there is some maybe a little more downside risk than they let on. Although, again, I don't know how the Cavs could have been that stupid, because I know the downside risk just from being a person who reads things. So how could they not know the downside risk? The best estimates I've seen are something like recovery from arthroscopic surgery on the hip. Elite athletes return to elite form something like 3 out of 4 times, right? 75% of the time, they're 3 times more likely than not to. But 25% downside, to not be the same, that's legit. And now I'll get to it. He didn't get surgery, right? So maybe he really did need it, right? And that could be a problem, because this is the last year of his deal. I think when you look at the odds, the most kind of realistic projection is that Isaiah Thomas is likely at some point to return to being the real Isaiah Thomas at some point in this season. And I'll tell you why that's just fine for the Cavs, Stephen A., so long as that's the case. Because if he needs surgery, forget about it. But if he didn't need surgery, as it turns out, and he returns to being himself, even by the playoffs, even if it takes him all season, LeBron by himself will be a top 4 seed in the East. The Cavs don't have to think about the regular season along those lines, nor, even with the improved Celtics, do I think the Cavs need home court in order to get to the finals. I'm telling you right now, I think the Cavs are getting to the finals, barring catastrophic injury, but maybe that includes to Isaiah Thomas. So this assumes Isaiah's okay. And then once you get to the playoffs, as long as Isaiah Thomas is Isaiah Thomas, Cavs ain't going to lose. You talk about Kyrie the closer, that's legit. How's Isaiah as a clutch player? How's Isaiah as a closer? Remember, he doesn't have to carry the load with LeBron there. Just be the guy who can ISO and do all that stuff as Kyrie did when LeBron takes a rest. So you mean to tell me you have a healthy and fully motivated Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs looking for redemption? In his walk year, going into a new contract, he's playing for a max deal, and he's been severely underpaid his entire career? Yeah, I'll take that if I'm the Cavs. So, of course, there's downside risk. You have to have your eyebrow raised, but I think the most realistic projection is the Cavs are going to be just fine.
All that blather you just threw out is totally irrelevant, because nobody's questioning any of those things about Isaiah Thomas and his skills. We have one question and one question only. It's the hip. It's the hip. And last time I checked, you are many things, but you are no doctor, and neither am I. That is the concern. That is the only concern. But it also legitimizes any concerns that LeBron James and Tyronn Lue may or may not